So by now you're probably pretty sick of my face, but I've got one more video. This one just will go over the syllabus, the Moodle assignments. So you had my little welcome, how to prep for the class, sort of what our expectations are. This is what you will do during this semester. So the syllabus should look pretty familiar to all the other, or the Moodle should look pretty similar to the other classes that you have had already. So the welcome module, which gives an overview of the class, your required texts. The new one for this class will be the fundamental neuroscience text. The rest you will be using throughout most of your other classes. And then these recommended texts for this class, and I will be recommending them in the coming semesters. You don't need to get them, they're just recommended, but I have them in my office if you are interested in seeing them before purchasing them. But the Hall text is basically a photocopy. You can photocopy all of the papers that are in there and distribute them to clients. There's home exercise programs, there's, you name it, that it's in there, exercise programs, education sheets. Jacobs and Simon, I think I recommended this in 525 as well. This is just a quick reference dictionary to occupational therapy. And then the Mariano and Latella is a resource for you as you develop interventions going forward. You have your announcements and your muddy points. Announcements, anything specific to this class will go in there. Muddy points, any questions you have specific to this class, put those there, because if you have a question, likely somebody else has a question. So be sure to do that. Both of these forums you are subscribed to, so you'll get any information directly pushed to your email, but you can certainly check daily if you'd like to. Your ICE videos, which we will use throughout the semester. All right, let's go to the syllabus, which again should look pretty familiar. You have a new professor, Professor Fitzpatrick, that she and I have taught this class before, and you will see our dynamic duo again in your fall semester. Be sure, if you are emailing us, to CC both of us on the email. So if one of us is not available, the other one of us can respond. If you don't hear from us, be sure to send us a little reminder and we will get back to you. ACOT standards, how we are delivering the information needed to meet the standard, and then how are we assessing that you understood and met the standard. So let's talk about what those assessments are. Each week you'll have a concept quiz that will test you on your readings. As you know, there are a fair amount of readings, so this will just help you synthesize what you've learned. Now, a great strategy for preparing for these quizzes is to create your own quizzes. Don't forget to look at the block reading article that I posted, and we can certainly go through it again, but really thinking about how to effectively and efficiently read the textbooks and synthesize the information in a way that makes sense. So the concept quizzes will help you do that. Creating your own quizzes will help you do that. Flashcards, charts, however it is that you learn, using those to help with getting through the readings. You'll have 2 exams. So your concept quizzes are really based on the readings. The exam questions will be based on how do you use that information. So I think I already gave this example. You can tell me, regurgitate what a dendrite is, but what does that mean functionally? So I'm not going to ask you directly about a dendronite, but I will ask you functionally, how does all of that you're learning apply to being an occupational therapist? So there are two big assignments in this class. One is the study guide and the other is the case study. So each of you will be assigned a diagnosis. There is a rubric. Look in your assignment details, you'll see the rubric as to what needs to be included in this study guide. You will be sharing this study guide with your peers. So as you go through and create these study guides based on how we've asked you to do it, you're really looking at the information that you find useful to understand that diagnosis, and then be able to use that as a study guide throughout the rest of your semesters and as you go into studying for your NBCOT exam. Remember, we don't treat a diagnosis, which is really why we don't talk specifically about diagnoses in class, why we have you create these study guides, but we don't treat the condition, but we treat all of the other components that because of the condition that somebody develops. So for example, multiple sclerosis, we're not necessarily treating that condition, but we're treating the human. But we know that they might have vision changes, they might have cognitive changes, they might have physical changes, changes in ADL performance, changes in mobility performance. So we're assessing and treating those components. The person just happens to have multiple sclerosis. And then that neuro's case study, competency and presentation, that is where you will take one of those diagnoses that you created the study guide on, and you'll create a case study. And within that case study, you'll create an occupational profile. You'll discuss assessments that you would use with this client. You will create an intervention for that client, but you will meet with Professor Fitzpatrick or myself midway through the semester to go over your outline to be sure that you feel comfortable with what you're doing as you create your case study. And learning activities, those are ways that we help solidify and really build your learning and build your foundational knowledge. So those are how we are assessing your learning throughout the semester. I think that is about it. You'll see my pre-week module. You'll have your quick syllabus quiz, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.